Des here from Aro-Tarot, and I decided to do a video. I wanted my next video to kind of be these are the decks that I have so far kind of video with like all my kind of decks, because I've only been reading for like a year now, and in that time I've gotten like 6 or 7 Oracle decks, 3 Lenormand decks, because I can't do a grand tableau, but I can do like 9 card readings with that. A playing card deck, another one on the way, and about 27 tarot decks, right? And that's not like too much to the point that I like can't film all of them. So originally I wanted to do that, but I have a playing card deck that's on the way, so I'm really excited about it. It's so cool. So I don't want to do that video until it comes, just because I want to include it in the video. I also have another deck that I just ordered for Black Friday sales. Whew, you know, ended up getting a deck, but that one I want to do a walkthrough of, so I'm not like, it doesn't have to be in the collection video, especially since like I've been doing tarot for about like a year now, so like that deck to me is like the start of like my 2nd year of reading, and see how many decks I get then. So yeah. Then I have like 2 other decks that I didn't even know were on the way, because my dad was like, yo, I bought you these decks, yeah, they're for you. You can't get rid of them, they're for you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so I don't know when those are getting here, or like when I'll see him so he can give them to me, but those won't be in the video either. I mean, I don't even know when they're coming or anything. He just was like, yeah, I got you decks, whatever, you know, 2 decks, you're gonna take them. But yeah, so this video is essentially some months ago. I think it was like maybe probably not 4 months ago, maybe like 3 months ago. Maybe. It could have been 4 by now, I don't know. I did a thing on Tumblr where I showcased, because I'd reached the 20 deck mark, including the one deck that I don't count in my collection anymore, just because it's that deck that if I meet someone that wants to learn tarot and I feel like they should have this deck, I'd give it to them, because I can't read with it. It like doesn't even have a voice with me. But anyway, with that one, I had 20 decks. So I had done a picture where I showed all of them comparing each other, and then I picked my top 3. And since then, I've gotten 8 more tarot decks, and my favorites have actually changed. So I thought it would be interesting to show how much it's changed, like me saying what it was to what it is now. And then I thought maybe in 6 months, maybe a year, maybe it could be like a year thing, I come back and I ask myself the same question of which are my top 3, just to see how much has changed with the decks that I've gotten then. So yeah, so I figured I'd just kind of show what are my favorites. Hopefully the camera won't be too shaky. I'm in a really awkward position. My tripod, the camera's too heavy to really lean over, so it's kind of like on my neck, the strap. So yeah. I'll go through the my top 3 with some honorable mentions, because there were some cards that I could not mention some honorable mentions. And I don't want the video to be like too long, so most of them I'm not going to talk about, but if there's one where I'm like, oh, this is obviously my favorite for this reason, I will mention it. So starting off with the Fool, hopefully my legs don't fall asleep. My favorite was from the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Then my other 2, after so, was the Justice League Tarot and the tarot that I made, the All-Time Low Tarot. My favorite now is from the Justice League Tarot. It's moved up. Like, oof, yeah. mostly just this is my favorite deck. My first like tarot deck that I really got. And you open the box and this is the first card you see, and this ended up becoming my favorite again. So I'll leave them out. And Nicoletta Ciccoli's still on the list. And then, the one that I made is on the list as well. And I like mine just because it does go with the Fool card I made. In this picture, he's got these dreams and he wants to take his rocket ship to the moon. And the world is actually him on the moon. And this is the song that I chose for this picture, for this card, is So Long Soldier. And that fits the Fool energy so well. But yeah, these are... I should have moved them a bit more over. The crystals. I've just got, like, this isn't a cloth or anything. My reading area is covered by decks right now, and I can't really film with it either. So I'm just on my floor. This is one of my all-time low flags. And then I just kind of put some crystals there, so yeah, just for some decoration. But yeah, these are my 3 favorite Fool cards. After that, we got the Magician. Okay, so before my favorite Magicians my favorite was from the Justice League Tarot. Yeah, you'll hear that deck a lot. before and after. And then my 2 other ones, my second and third, in no particular order. Oh my god, I have to move how I'm sitting. That's so much better. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Then it became the Sherlock Holmes Tarot afterwards, and then it was the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Now my favorite is from the Future Vision Gem Tarot, because, I mean, come on, that's Peridot. I love Peridot. She's my favorite character from Steven Universe, you know? And then, of course, Sherlock Holmes. And I just love Constantine for the Magician, okay? Like, when I thought of the Magician when I first started reading, I kind of thought him being more, I don't know, just more Sherlock Holmesy in a way, like more wearing a suit kind of thing. And then Constantine, he's like the opposite of what I think the Magician is. But he fits the Magician so well, and that's, yeah, I love him as the Magician. But Peridot, I love Peridot, So, I love her. Okay, next, the High Priestess. It was the Wildwood Tarot, the Prismavisions Tarot, and the Black Cat Tarot. My favorite's still the Wildwood Tarot. I don't know why this is my favorite card. It just is. For some reason, it's my favorite High Priestess. It's just the energy it gives off, I guess. It's just when I was looking through, I'm like, this is my favorite High Priestess card. Don't ask me why. It's just my favorite. And then the Trionfi della Luna, which they're different systems here, but the majors compared to the minors, I'm mixing systems here. And then the Black Cat Tarot, which I love that High Priestess. Yes, those are my 3 favorite High Priestess cards. Okay, the Empress. My favorite was the Justice League Tarots, then the Tarot of Vampires, and then the Black Cat Tarot. And now it's still Justice League Tarot, which is Poison Ivy. Black Cat Tarot still, because I just love that Empress. And what I wasn't expecting, this is from the Steampunk Tarot, Wisdom of the Gods of the Machine. And I don't know why, I just really like this. I mean, you get the nature. She's got, the belly, so the motherhood. You get the abundance, you get the creativity. The cloak, it makes me think almost like a warrior, so you kind of get all the aspects, because I usually see her more as not as a mother, not really with nature, necessarily. For me, she's more of like a badass. with those elements. So, those are my top 3. And then I have an honorable mention. The Prisma, why am I saying that? The Future Vision Gem Tarots, which is Rose Quartz, and she's like the embodiment of the Empress. So, literally, like, she's the Empress, but it was very hard. Next one, my top Emperor. Oh, I have to move again. I am so sorry. My camera moves. Yeah, sorry about that. The Emperor was Shadowscapes Tarot, as my favorite. Then the Black Cat Tarot, and then the Prisma Visions. And it's still Shadowscapes. But now it's still Black Cat. But Dreaming Away Tarot has made its way on the list. I mean, I'm squishing on the deck right now, and for some reason, I just really like that Emperor, okay? It's so nice. But yeah, those are my top 3 Emperor cards. The, I'm gonna say this wrong, Hierophant. Okay, I think I said it alright. I have a tendency to pronounce that word wrong. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Hierophant, my favorite was Justice League Tarot, then the Ostara Tarot, and then Prisma Visions. And now it's still Justice League. Because I just love it. I love it. That's so cool. He fits it so well with the darker aspects of it. And then still Ostara. And generally I don't like seeing the more church official kind of thing going on with it. But Dreaming Way made its way back. He's just so gentle, you know? Like, I'd ask him for information even if he is wearing that hat, you know? Yeah, that's my favorites for that card. My top 3 for the Lovers. All 3, I love them so much, but I just really love the one, okay? They were the Prisma Visions, Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot, and the Ostara Tarot. And it's still Prisma Visions. I just love this artwork so much, and I just love that they're dancers, because that fits how I read the Lovers so freaking well. And then Nicoletta Ciccoli's still on the list. Again, I love that whole choice going on with this. And then, sorry, Ostara, which that one I kind of liked, but it wasn't like a favorite before. And it got beat out by Future Vision Gem Tarot. I mean, who doesn't love 2 lesbians in a trench coat, am I right? Yeah, you've got Ruby and Sapphire, and together they make Garnet. And that's just freaking beautiful with their whole story. Ugh. It would be my favorite if it wasn't for the fact I have a thing for this Lovers card, okay? But I love the Lovers. It's great. Okay, so next we got the Chariot. My favorite was the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Then the Justice League Tarot, and then the All-Time Low Tarot. And this one is still Nicoletta Ciccoli, because this was the card that kind of really, I was already reading this deck intuitively, but like with this deck, and then reading the book, but then like I developed a story with it, and that's kind of like where it started with me kind of seeing a story with the actual images when reading tarot. And then after that, we've got the Justice League Tarot still. This is how I kind of learned the Chariot with the whole willpower, because he's a Green Lantern. So literally their power comes from willpower. So obviously it fits the Chariot so freaking well. And then the Aro-Tarot is my other Chariot favorite. Yep, favorite Chariots. Okay, now we got Justice. My favorites were the Prismavisions. Oops. Whenever I move my neck, the camera moves. I'm sorry about that. We've got the Prismavisions were, the Justice League was a favorite, and the Shadowscapes was a favorite. And it's still Prismavisions as my #1 favorite. I just love the story that's going on. It's literally showing justice actually being, it's acting out, like, literally. And Justice League Tarot's still there. It's Batman. So, that fits just as well. But then the other one got beaten out by Future Vision Gem Tarot. We've got Jasper's the Justice card, and just like with Batman, it's a character that's literally seeking out justice. But what I like about Jasper, though, is that justice essentially gets acted out on her, She gets what's coming to her. Yeah. I just love it when the Justice card, this tripod thing's moving, I'm sorry. Wait. That's so much better. I just love it when the Justice card actually shows justice in action, or a character, because most of the time it just shows, like, Lady Justice, and, like, that's justice. But, justice in, like, actually being acted out, or Batman goes with my childhood nostalgia, so yeah, it's more justice-y to me. Okay, so the Hermit was the Prismavisions, then Shadowscapes, then Black Cat, and it's actually all still the same. My top 3 Hermit cards. I love these Hermits so much. They're so beautiful, and I love them. Not much to say there. Wheel of Fortune. It was the Ostara, Shadowscapes, and the Nicoletta Ciccoli. Now it's the Ostara, which is the Fates. That's why I love this card so much. Dreaming Way, which has the string that makes me think of the Fates. And then Nicoletta Ciccoli, and I love that Wheel of Fortune card. Got some, like, deep messages there, Yeah, these are my favorite Wheel of Fortune cards. Next in the line, we've got Strength. And this one also will end up having an honorable mention. So my favorite were the Sherlock Holmes Tarot, the Steampunk Tarot, and then the Wild Unknown. Strength, I couldn't really find many that I liked except for my favorite, which of course is still my favorite. I just love Watson for the Strength card. I love it so much. I can't express how much I love it. But then the other two got beaten out really easily with the Tarot. That's so precious. And now the Dreaming Way. I don't know. There is something about this card that's just so calming. And that's why I love it. And then an honorable mention of the Future Vision Gem Tarot. This is Opal. I love Opal. She's the giant woman. Yes, my favorite Strength cards. As you can see, there's a lot of Steven Universe ones and a lot of Justice League ones. If you could tell, I like me some comics and cartoons. Okay, next we've got the Hanged Man. It was Justice League Tarot, Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot, and the Steampunk Tarot. And now it's still Justice League. If you know the character, this is Dead Man. And if you, like, read his backstory, he fits the Hanged Man so freaking well. Like, it's kind of perfect, Oh, I had to sit down. Nicoletta Ciccoli's still there. It goes really well with how I read the Hanged Man, so. And then Dreaming Way, because I'm squishing on it right now. With honorable mention of, again, another Steven Universe character, Lapis. I feel like her story arc's not really done yet, and that's why she can't be a favorite. This is one of my brother's favorite characters. He really likes Lapis and Onion. Because when it comes with her character, obviously this scene, because it's watery, this is probably the part where she and Jasper fuse, right? Which, if you don't watch the show, basically, like, they combined into an even stronger being. But, you know, Jasper, not a good character, bad guy. And she essentially sacrifices herself, right? And drags them as a fusion down into the water. And that's what it seems to be here. The issue, though, is there's no really enlightenment coming. She just becomes more, like, broken than what she already was. So, and even she still has issues where she doesn't, you know, obviously, like, it's, by her backstory, it all makes sense on what she's going through, so, yeah, it's just, I feel like there's more to her story yet to be told on how she develops as a character, and until I see that, it can't be a favorite. But that's the Hanged Man. Now we've got Death. It was the Nicoletta Cittoli Tarot, the Justice League Tarot, and the Cosmic Tarot from the Cosmic Tarot and Oracle set. And it's still Nicoletta Cittoli. I love this card. It's Snow White, man. It's perfect for Death. The Justice League Tarot, which this is the death of Superman. And obviously then if you know, like, the comics, or even, you know, spoilers for the the movieverse, but Superman's not actually dead. He comes back, and that's why, you know, he comes back. And you still actually get the flower right here. But it's perfect for Death. And then the Fountain Tarot has made its way into this, and these are my 3 favorite Death cards. Next, we've got Temperance. It was Justice League Tarot, Sherlock Holmes Tarot, and I don't like a lot of Temperance cards. So then it was the Medieval Cats Tarot. Luckily, I did find my 3rd favorite, but it's still Justice League Tarot, which that's Raven, so all of them fit this character story so well. Like, the artist obviously did a lot of research, and you have to go, like, by you looking up the characters just because there is no booklet. But I know Raven. You know, I liked the Teen Titans show, so I got to kind of see her character, so. And then the Sherlock Holmes one, which this is Mrs. Hudson, and whenever I see that card, I actually think of the BBC version, Sherlock, and I just think, man, someone's got to keep those boys in line, am I right? And then Dreaming Way. It's just so pretty. And I'm squishing on the deck right now. Yes, my 3 favorite Temperance cards. Okay, this one was the hardest. I have to have 2 honorable mentions for this one. Because the Devil was actually what made me have to have honorable mentions. Because there are so many Devil cards I like. I like the Devil cards, so. It was the Hobbit Tarot, the Sherlock Holmes Tarot, and the Steampunk Tarot. But now, my favorite is the Future Vision Gem Tarot. This card makes me think of my brother, because this is Onion in the show, and literally he fits the devil perfectly. He is the devil. You know, not show-wise, like, it's just, but it makes me think of my brother, because my brother loves Onion, he likes Lapis, so I love this. Also, I love how it comes, it's very playful when I read it. The Devil's usually not a playful card for me, but this one's actually playful. And then the Hobbit Tarot is still in there. This is Smog, and the Smog works perfectly for the Devil. My brother actually said, yeah, Onion obviously beats out Smog, but, like, he doesn't just beat him out. He's literally riding on Smog. That's how Onion is. And then the Tarat. I love this. It makes me think of Lucifer from you know, Lucifer Morningstar from the show Lucifer. Like, I imagine, like, I think there actually was, like, a promo maybe for a season where the artwork looked like this. But that's literally what it makes me think of, and it's perfect. I love it. And then the honorable mentions is from the Fountain Tarot, which is so beautiful, and I love how you can't really see the face that well, and just, And then the Sherlock Holmes Tarot, because it's Moriarty. But yes, these are my favorite devil cards. That one was so hard. The steampunk one almost got an honorable mention, because I love that one too, but I didn't want to have 3 honorable mentions, because that's like another whole top 3, you know? Okay, so next is the Tower, and dropped a card. I love the Tower card too. I like a lot of the darker cards in the tarot, okay? So my favorite was the Hobbit Tarot, the Justice League Tarot, and the Ostara Tarot. And it's still the Hobbit Tarot for my favorite. Again, it's Smog, you know, and it's just perfect for the tarot card. I mean, for the Tower card, man. It's perfect. And then the Joker is the Justice League Tower, and perfect. And then I love the Tarot one, because it's, like, it hasn't fallen yet. It's about to fall, so what's he gonna do, you know? Can he escape? Is there water? Can he jump down, you know? Will it be all okay? And then the Moon, because the Moon's very subconscious-y for me, so like, I just love this. Yes, these are my favorite Tower cards. Next, we have the Star, and the Star, while I like the card, I usually don't like the artwork for it. Before, it was just the Justice League Tarot, Steampunk Tarot, which it wasn't really a favorite, but I wanted to have, you know, a top 3. And then the All-Time Low Tarot, because that's my tarot, and there's just story behind the card because of the song I chose. But now I actually have 3 star cards that I all love. And my favorite is now the Future Vision Gem Tarot, which is Connie, and she fits that perfectly. The Fountain Tarot, and of course, Justice League still. I mean, it's Supergirl. Literally, she's the embodiment of hope. Yes, these are my 3 favorite star cards. Okay, next we have the Moon, which has 2 honorable... I did break it. I have 3 honorable mentions for the Moon. I just now realized it. Whoops! The Moon, was the All-Time Low Tarot. It was my favorite. The Black Cat Tarot, and the Shadowscapes Tarot. And it's still my tarot for the Moon, because it works with how I read the Moon really well. And the Black Cat Tarot, which, I love this one too. If I couldn't pick this one, it would definitely be this one as my next one. Trionfi della Luna is now in the top 3. Then the honorable mentions is Shadowscapes, the Fountain Tarot, and Future Vision Gem Tarot. And the reason why this one can't be a top 3 is just because it's very much the negative aspects of the Moon, and it's not how I read the Moon, but I really like this card when it's paired up with the Sun in the deck, which you'll see. And I'm going to have to cut the video really quick, just because the camera can't film for more than 30 minutes, so, just a second. And with editing magic, there's no stop. Da 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 da. Okay, so we're coming towards the end. We got 3 cards left. My favorite Sun was the Black Cat Tarot, the Justice League Tarot, and the Ostara Tarot. And now it's the Future Vision Gem Tarot. I mean, it's Sadie. And Sadie, she's perfect for the Sun. And I love Sadie. She's great. You know? The Tarot. It's so playful. I love it. And then Justice League Tarot, which it's kind of like when it comes to the Justice League and this one, I like the moons, but only when they're paired up with the Sun because of the aspects of the Moon that it's drawing on. And that's not how I read the Moon, you know, so I can't have them separate. When they're together, I love it. But separately, I just like this one. And obviously, I like this one. It's Billy! like another series of comics that I would love to get, but my mom buys my comics, and it's like she's already. How many am I reading? I read Hellblazer. I'm really behind on all the comics, but I read Hellblazer. I'm really behind on Titans, and then I read Nightwing. Oh, and I read Red Hood and the Outlaws. So I read, like, she gets me, like, 4 comics. I'm not gonna be like, yo, Mom, get me another one. Otherwise, I would love to read, like, Shazam. Like, he seems really cool, you know? And then an honorable mention from the Mystical Manga Tarot. I don't know why, I just like this one a lot. Okay, we got Judgment. And favorites were Prisma Visions, Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot, Sherlock Holmes Tarot. And I'm going through that really fast because it's the exact same thing. I love this Judgment. I love this Judgment. And I love this Judgment. So, out of all of the cards, there's only 2 that actually stayed the same for my top 3. But yeah. These are my favorite Judgment cards. And then finally, dun dun, my favorite world was the Shadowscapes Tarot, Justice League Tarot, and the Astaro Tarot. And now it's the Dreaming Way Tarot, Future Vision Gem Tarot, and the Justice League Tarot. And since we're on the last card, I'll go ahead and explain, like, the Dreaming Way, I'm squishing on this. You'll notice that one came out a lot more than I think it will in the future, just because it's, like, the newest deck that I've gotten. I'm, like, really squishing on it, as I said in, like, a previous VR. This one, because it's just a little white book, it doesn't explain everything on why this is in this deck, and this one's in this one. But when it comes to this card, it makes me think of a story. It makes me think of Jack and the Beanstalk because of this plant right here. And it makes me think of, this is Jack, and he's old, and his story's coming to an end. But the Beanstalk's still there, so, like, someone could climb back up, you know? And the story could start anew, and that's why I like this card, because it makes me think of Jack and the Beanstalk, which wasn't a story I was crazy about as a kid. I didn't really read fairy tales much as a kid. I read books. No, I was that kid that Mom was like, oh man, Dad should get in trouble for staying up late, but she stayed up late because she was reading with, like, a nightlight or, like, in her closet. How am I supposed to punish that? She just wants to read. I was that kid. I don't read as much as I used to, but yeah. Not really fairy tales, though, but read a lot of Junie B. Jones books when I was really little, 1st grade. And then, again, with this one, you've got, this is, basically their home. You know. So, it kind of makes me think, the war is over. Homeworld's gone. You know, everything's kind of a mess. You know, but it is over. So that's the completion aspect. But the new part is Steven's story. So, like, while that story may have come to a close, Rose's, you know, initial story, but now it's Steven's story, and that's why I like this world. And obviously this is Superman saving Lois Lane, so, like, the battle's over, but, you know, the story of them is still going on. So it's, like, a new thing. Like, you could probably imagine, like, maybe this is, I don't really read... Oh, my mouth made a sound. I don't really read the, Superman comics, but in my mind it's he saved her, and this was kind of like that moment where Lois Lane's like, wow, Superman, you know? And then there's, you know, the whole romance thing with them going on, so. It's not really the end. It's the end of that, but it's the start of something new. But yes, wow, I didn't go on for an hour. But yes, those are my top 3 with some honorable mentions of each of the majors out of all the decks that I own. And it's really interesting just to see how much some of them have changed. Only 2 cards stayed the same for all 3. So I'd be really interested to see how it's gonna be when I get like another 10 decks, which I'm gonna definitely get more than 10 decks in a year. So that's why I said maybe every 6 months instead. But yeah, just maybe something that I can do every so many months just to see how it's changed. Probably not actually post anything for like a 6-month mark or a year mark. Just as a way to document like my mindset with cards, you know? Because while my top favorite deck's not going to change, it seems my favorite cards will. And I thought that maybe I could do this with the minors as well, and maybe even the court cards. Maybe make it a little series of, 6 videos in total. And then I could do that in like a 6 months or a year. If I did a series, it'd probably be more like a year. Just to see how much it's changed. But yeah, those are my top 3 for each one. I hope you didn't get too annoyed with the camera wobbling. Especially didn't know my feet kept falling asleep. I'm sitting on the floor. But yes, that's it. So I hope you didn't get bored or anything, and the whole camera moving didn't bother you. And I don't know. I might just see what my favorites are for the other ones. Probably Swords first. Swords is my favorite suit. But yeah, that's the video, and I should stop talking now. So this was Des from Aro-Tarot, and I am signing off, or logging out. I think I'm gonna go with the whole logging out thing. Logging out.